hopefully you've noticed that this is the definition of the derivative. So I can rewrite the derivative definition really quick. It's just the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So remember how I told you that when they like to use this definition of the derivative, so even though we know our derivative shortcuts now, you still have to remember this definition of the derivative because they can put problems like this on there where it requires your knowledge of derivatives, but it also requires your knowledge of how to almost undo the definition of the derivative. So notice over here, I'm looking for something plus h because I'm trying to figure out what my original function was, and I'm trying to figure out what they plugged into my function. So if I'm looking here, I have something plus h, x plus h, so I'm going to look over here and I see something plus h. So my something is equal to 4. So I know that the number that they plugged in is equal to 4. So I'm going to just call that a for right now. So I know that a equals 4. So they're trying to evaluate my derivative at 4. I know that. All right. If I had taken this back out, so essentially they plugged 4 plus h into my function. So if I kind of take this out like that, like let's just pretend that I can cross it off like that, and then replace that with an x, all right, that would be my original function. So I'm going to do the same thing back over here. I'm going to cross this off. Let me make it a little smaller. So I'm going to cross this off, and I'm going to replace it with an x, and that's actually my original function. So my original function is e to the x. That's what it was before they plugged in the 4 plus h. So I know that my function, f of x, is e to the power of x. And you can verify this. You can verify that you found the function correctly, and you can verify that you found out the number they're trying to evaluate it at by plugging this into the function. So plug 4 into the function. It should be e to the 4th, and that's what you should have right here. So obviously we did it right because that's what we have here, and that's what they're trying to evaluate the function at. So you can just check to verify to make sure that you did that right. So the definition of the derivative, back when we were learning about derivatives, helped us to find the derivative, but now that we know our shortcuts, we can just take the derivative by using our shortcuts. So what is the derivative of f prime of x? Well, it's the derivative of e to the x, and the derivative of e to the x is itself. So it's still the derivative would be itself, e to the x. So if I'm trying to evaluate it at this value of a, f prime of 4, it should be e to the 4th. So my answer is B.